Hey, it's been longer between videos than I meant for it to be. I've temporarily relocated for a summer internship, so I've been busy the past few weeks with travel arrangements and settling in and getting used to my new schedule. It's a fun internship. It's a conservation research thing, so as it turns out, swallows are less than appreciative when you open up their houses and count their babies. So I've actually had to run away from angry parent swallows a few times, and I'll be like, "I'm sorry, I couldn't count the babies because the parents kept dive bombing me, and I had to just go." But it's always okay. So it's been fun. But yeah, today's video I wanted to talk about coordination issues because that's a thing that I think affects a lot of people on the spectrum and is definitely something that I've had to deal with um, quite often. It's I think it looks different for a lot of people. For me, a lot of it was there were two specific things. Walking, three specific things. Walking, riding a bike, and fine motor skills. I walked late. I think I was should have double checked with my mom before I said how old I was when I first walked, but it was somewhere in the range of 15 to 18 months. I forget exactly. I was talking really early, which will probably be the topic of another video, but talking very early, but walked kind of late, and it took me a while to get to the point where I was comfortable doing that. I even there's this story. My first birthday, I was, I think, kind of crawling around at that point. People were always carrying me, but I crawled around a lot. But I'd never gone upstairs until my first birthday when I got hair clips for the first time, which for those of you who watched my collections video, that was my first like big thing I collected was hair clips. And it started when I was 1 year old, literally. And that's what emboldened me to climb stairs for the first time. It's kind of hilarious, actually. But yeah, walking was really hard as a kid, and I still trip a lot. I trip over my own feet. People are always like, "Get grippy socks," and I'm like, or I slip a lot too. People are like, "Get grippy socks," and I'm like, "No, I do. You don't understand. If I get grippy socks, the grips fall off, or straight up stop working. The grips slip. I don't understand. My very presence kills the grips on grippy socks. That's not the solution to my slipping problem." I also fall down the stairs a lot. Stairs should never be carpeted, in my personal opinion. It's painful. But yeah, that's a lot of falling downstairs. And it's kind of funny. It does hurt sometimes though, because it's like, and that's on my tailbone. One time I slipped and fell holding my baby brother, so I had to like rotate my body weird so that he wouldn't hurt himself. And he was actually fine because he was sitting on me and that cushioned him, but I like bruised my hip a little bit because I'd been kind of twisted around trying to keep him from falling over. So he was crying when we got to the bottom of the stairs, but he wasn't injured. I think he was just sort of scared, which is fair. Falling down the stairs is not a pleasant experience, but that's the only. Riding a bike was also hard. I've talked about this a little bit before, but I ran into bushes, like cartoonishly biked myself into bushes, and it took a really long time to get off training wheels because I just couldn't figure out the balance. It was basically, and I can't even explain to you, this is how I got to the point where I could ride a bike, because I don't know. I just kind of got it one day, which is not helpful if you're looking for advice on how do I balance better. But one day I got it and I can do it, and now I'm decent at riding a bike. I'm not gonna like bike race anytime soon, but you know, I can do it. But yeah, cartoonishly riding myself into bushes, not being comfortable even pedaling for a really long time because I always hit my legs on the pedals because I couldn't coordinate my legs to move the right way. It was kind of embarrassing for a long time, but I finally got it. Let's see what else I want to talk about. This is going to be the most funny and slightly embarrassing stories about me as a kid video I think I've done so far. Just because I can laugh it off, and it is kind of funny to me. I don't know. I mean, like, you shouldn't, don't make fun of kids that are struggling with this, but I can kind of laugh about it with myself, especially since I know, like, why it was happening now. It's like, oh, okay, I guess coordination issues are pretty common. That's good to know. It's just since the diagnosis. Swimming, also difficult. It's similar to the bike riding thing. Could not do it for a long time. When I was 3, I took swimming lessons, and I have this distinct memory. The swim teachers gave us all a baby doll, and then floated the baby dolls out into the pool, and we were supposed to swim out and get them. And I remember like staring at the baby doll floating away and being like, this is not sufficient motivation for me to actually get my body into the water. Sorry. It was like, I don't know, the doll's floating away. The doll's gonna be fine. This is not... Put a book out there, maybe I'll start swimming. But as it stands, the baby doll is not sufficient motivation. So it really wasn't... I didn't really swim until we moved to Massachusetts when I was a kid because we were near the beach. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll see if there's anything to this whole get in the water thing. Sorry, getting notifications on my phone. And then I actually do enjoy swimming and being in the water. I'm not very good at it still, but I can keep myself afloat and avoid drowning. So, you know, that's good. And I can backstroke pretty well, and I can float, but other than that, sorry, the camera's shaky today. I can't figure out a good angle. What else do I want to say? So yeah, as far as foot coordination, I do have one story that really is just funny, but it illustrates my point pretty well. There was this one time, my sisters were at a dance that was at this coffee shop that had a ballroom, and I was outside the ballroom, just at the coffee shop area, because I wanted to get some homework done. And I've been to dances before, but that's probably a whole different video. And I don't enjoy them, so I was like, I'll just have some coffee. So one of my sisters came out at one point during the dance to have a break, and we kind of started dancing together for a little bit. And the floor was kind of slippery. So that's at least partly to blame for what comes next. But she did a high kick, and I was like, oh, I'll try a high kick. That was a really bad idea. my right foot went very high, and then my left foot was like, I guess it's time for us to go up as well. And then I did. I'm told it looked pretty funny. Mainly what I remember is a spinning blur, but as far as I can tell, I went up, spun around completely, and then I landed flat on my face, and it was loud enough that the people in the next room over were like, you okay? Everything okay? And it really was just funny. It didn't hurt. I did bruise my knee a little bit, but it was fine. It's kind of funny though. And the second piece of the coordination thing is fine motor skills. That was really hard for me. Like, I couldn't tie a knot for a really long time. And then once I did, every piece of string I got my hands on had a knot in it, and we're still trying to untie some of the knots I tied as a child. In like dress-up scarves and stuff, it's like we can't get the knot out. That was actually one big thing for me when I was looking up symptoms of autism. I was like, oh, okay, so difficulty with fine motor skills, but then hyperfixating on things. Because I remember as a kid having a really hard time tying knots. And then as soon as I got the hang of it, I was tying knots in literally every piece of string that I got in my hands. I fixated on the fact that I can tie a knot now. I was also in Velcro sneakers for a really long time because I couldn't figure out how to tie a bow. And, you know, now I wear lace-up sneakers, which is good because they don't make very many Velcro sneakers for adult-sized feet. But, yeah, so tying a bow took a really long time. Tying a knot took a really long time. One of the biggest helps for me has been, I talk about these figures fairly often, but these, when I was a kid and I first discovered perler beads, I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I think that helped me develop more fine motor skills. Just pick up the tiny little bead and then put it on the tray and figure out the pattern. And so I think that really helped with fine motor skills. Another thing that helped, my parents got like this puzzle thing that had like a zipper feature, a button feature, because zippers and buttons were both really hard. A few different knots. I'm trying to remember. Zipper. Oh, there was a buckle too. Those were hard. I pinched my finger in buckles a lot as a kid. I haven't done that in a long time, which is good. So, yeah, sure thing. I mean, coordination, it's an issue. There's probably more resources for helping kids with that now than I am familiar with. Obviously, my parents did Montessori stuff with us at home, so I think that also helps. Like, you know, the tweezers with the colored felt balls and stuff, organize things, that definitely helped. Um, knitting was really helpful. I'm thinking of maybe putting up, I mean, there's all kinds of knitting tutorials online, but I'm wondering if maybe I do one at some point. I'm looking over to the side as if I have knitting stuff right there. I didn't pack my knitting stuff. Um, but yeah, so I am thinking of putting up some tutorials of some of like the crafty activities that I found help me with fine motor skills. So when I post this, if you would like to see, I don't know, I crochet, knit, perler beads. I also make jewelry. That's all stuff that's helped with fine motor skills, I think, and they're things I really enjoy and they're relaxing. So yeah, if there's anyone watching this who would like to see a tutorial for that, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to get that going. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, I think there are like physical therapists and stuff now who can help kids with walking, and you know, private swim lessons really helped me. Actually, before I forget, swimming, as far as that goes, private lessons turned out to be the best option because the teacher was able to give me her undivided attention, and I was able to just kind of zone into what she was saying with fewer distractions. So yeah, if your kid, you know, private swim lessons were good. I really enjoy being in the water, but it's also better to, you know how to not drown is kind of important. And yeah, like I said, riding a bike, I have no advice. I just kind of got it one day. So I guess keep at it. Persistence is key. If that's something that you, or like, I don't know, your kid or something is struggling with. And also maybe don't do high kicks on a coffee shop, in a coffee shop that's really not designed for that. And, you know, don't fall down the stairs.